Hey all y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Alright, so it's almost like you would have seen me like this recently. Are we getting notes of deja vu? But seriously, y'all would have seen me look like this in a previous Will I Buy It? Today we are dealing with the part 2 of that, which is discussing all the things I pulled out personally that I wanted to talk about that we didn't have time for in that last one unless we wanted to be here for an hour. Which I know some of y'all are here for, but I'm not here for editing a 60-minute video, just FYI. Before we start, obviously, we're going to give credit where credit is due, like I always do. Will I Buy It was created by Samantha March, which is procking off of the anti-haul, which was originally created by Amber's Beauty Chair, and then popularized into the beauty community phenomena by Kimberly Clark. We'll leave all of their information down below. But for now, let's just get into talking about some things, the first of which being a product that is just, the brand is not cruelty-free, so I'm just putting that out there. So the whole, the fact that I only buy cruelty-free makeup now. But that aside, I just kind of wanted to talk about it. And that is the new addition to the Sephora and Moschino brand collaboration collection. Now, the first collection, I will admit, as someone who is a fan of that particular designer's aesthetic and designs, I was very much drawn to that collection. It was very iconic and it was very evocative of what that brand really put out on their runways. Now, this collection it's like this whole office themed thing, but still having the whole teddy bear thing. It's very cutesy but office themed. We've got the computer, the laptop eyeshadow palette. We've got pencil, eye brushes, makeup brushes, the marker, lip whatevers, something that looks like whiteout, just a whole mishmash of all these oh, it looks like a practical item, but it's actually makeup. I feel like this is I do not feel as though it is nearly as appealing or as standout or as interesting or intriguing as the first one, which was very, very Moschino. You saw that and you're like, yes, that is their aesthetic. That is what they're about. The kind of cutesy, kitschy luxury. And then this one, you're just kind of you're getting the box of crayons eyeshadow palette vibe. I just don't feel like it has as much potential, and I honestly feel like it's making itself even more niche by having this really ridiculously particular packaging. That could be just me. Although there is a small part of me that kind of is just I want lipstick whatever things that look like markers. And the part of me that wants to be a part of the Sephora and Moschino collection, but I can't because cruelty free and whatever. And this whole thing just honestly on a whole, if they had momentarily brought back the eyeshadow, the big old teddy bear from the first collection, and they were all limited, bringing it back, I admit, I would be hard pressed to actually be thinking about, do I want that? But as for this, we're just no, I saw this and I was like, oh, another, and then just no. Then this one is kind of as of filming this one, we don't have a lot of info on it. It looks like some kind of fancy Too Faced face palette going on. The photo, the sneaky whatever, is in black and white. I hate it when brands months before a product comes out, they're oh, let's tease this horrible swatch that goes all the way down our arm, or let's show an obscure half of the palette shot that's in black and white. I mean, we know why they do it. They do it because it really feeds into that creating hype and really getting in on the consumerism. They're like, let's talk about this for as long as we can, and let's really get people hyped up and really amp up the percentage and chance for this to like sell and make us lots of money. Which I understand their business, but I still think it's kind of shady. I'm like, I am trying to be like less on the face palettes, and it's probably gonna be limited edition because it's Too Faced. If it's like a highlighter palette, because it does kind of, the like pressed imprint is kind of akin to their like Pretty Rich, those like diamond highlighters. It's kind of like that. I'll be interesting to see what it is, but in all likelihood, I'm probably not going to get it just because of certain contributing factors that all cumulate together. But you never know. It could come out and it could look absolutely amazing. So we will just have to see. And I understand that I'm just talking about a black and white picture that doesn't show a lot, so we don't have much to go on. Then the next thing is honestly kind of something that I did momentarily want and did have a like momentary just moment of like, I could get this and review it. This would be great. This would be a wonderful review for my channel. And that is the Tarte, excuse me if I butcher her name, Madeleine Morin. Now, this is an eyeshadow and face palette, kind of in the a la Tarte and Graveyard Girl, where they had the eyeshadow section, the face section. This one has a blush and a highlighter. Now, looking at this palette, the packaging is all kinds of yellow and pretty and spring and summery, so that gets me. And then you look inside and you're like, oh, look, it's not just boring neutrals. We've got some like brighter, punchier colors. We're going kind of pinky and red and orangey and blood orange and kind of tropical vibe. But I mean, if you cover up the really pretty shades, the tropical shades, it becomes a lot less exciting. You cover it up and it just kind of becomes, a Tarte palette. The blush does look stunning. You guys know I love a bright, colorful, punchy blush, but it's like, it's an eyeshadow palette with face stuff in it, but if I'm not gonna get it for the blush. I mean, you guys know what I mean. Just does not seem very practical, and it's just gonna be limited edition. It's just something that I honestly had a momentary like, ooh, that could be cool. And I honestly feel like this is, let me get real with you all and myself for a second. I feel like when stuff, like a lot of stuff comes out like oh my goodness, there's releases all the time. I feel like, and when a lot of stuff is coming out and none of it is appealing to me and I'm just scrolling through, when I see something that's like remotely like appealing to me, like the makeup person wanting to buy stuff is like, oh, look at that could be cool. And I'm like, no, that's really just the part of you that wants to buy makeup, so you're making it seem a lot better than it really is. So just cool your jets, step back, and take a moment to analyze the product instead of just like jumping on it. And then talking about jumping on something, I know I'm gonna get it. Y'all may know I'm gonna get it. You can roll your eyes at me, you can do whatever you want, but I saw this and I was like, that is stupid. That is kitschy, but I'm gonna get it. And that is the little Faced Clover highlighter. I mean, y'all know I love me some highlighter. Y'all know I love me some adorable kawaii kitschy stuff. So we're essentially taking two of my favorite things and putting them together. And the swatches look nice, and it looks like, really nice goldy glow. And y'all know I am on the hunt for like a highlighter from Too Faced that ends up being like, yes, this formula is superb. I know it's probably gonna be some kind of limited edition job, but when it comes to certain things like highlighters that I know I get a lot of personal use out of, I'm a little bit less about it than say a limited edition palette. So that one is going to be, I'm gonna bring that into my collection, and it can go into the section that's like just for me, ostentatiously packaged limited edition highlighters that I only use in my free time. Then kind of keeping on Too Faced, a product that I'm kind of like I saw them first off and I was like, no. And those were the Too Faced, their new crystal whip thingies. And because when I saw them, I was like, oh, so Too Faced knows how popular the Stila Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadows are. They want to get in on this. And then I saw that it was all like, you know, for your eyes, for your face, for your lips. And I was like, that's kind of cool. I like me a multi-use product, which honestly, any product can be multi-use if you choose to use it that way. Doesn't have to say it. But I was like, okay, all right, that could be a lot of fun, for editorial or just for fun, if you want to do it on the eye, use the same one as a highlight, as, a lip topper or a lip thing. I was like, that could be a lot of fun. So I'm honestly a little bit more intrigued by them since they specifically say they are multi-use rather than like just a liquid eyeshadow. Obviously, it's going to be something that I'm going to want to like go into store and like swatch it and be like, all right, is it just an effervescent fairy fart of glitter, or does it actually have some whatever to it? I understand I do not have the like biggest eye socket space. Like my eyeballs are not conducive to fancy cut creases, which I know that, liquid glitters are usually liquid eyeshadows. That's what they're for, but we're just gonna have to see. But they do intrigue me a little bit. And something that I don't think we've seen shades or a range or anything like that, but we have seen like packaging, at least the box for the Juvia's Place concealer and foundation. Now, Juvia's Place has been like teasing this for an extended period of time. Juvia's like, we are going to drop a foundation line, and it is going to be the foundation line color range to envy all other ranges. So Fenty Beauty might gotta hold on to their seats. And that's part of the reason why I'm so excited for this, because Juvia's Place was started as a Black-owned company, was started as, a way to really offer women and boys and men and people of color to really have products that were catered toward their skin tone, which is an area of, the makeup industry that has been seen to be lacking. But even with that, Juvia's Place has commented in discussion with this product release that they also understand the need for inclusivity to go both ways, from like super white to super deep. And that, I think, when you have a brand that is owned by someone who is, a part of the demographic of makeup users and wearers that tends to be not catered to be able to say, hey, we understand, to have them, their perspective is much more valuable than someone who hasn't experienced that. So I am super, for many different reasons, I am super excited about that. And a product that a couple of you all have asked me about, it will have released by now, and I will own it by now when this goes up. But those are the Lunar Manny MUA Lunar Beauty Moon Prism powders. Y'all know I was a fan of his Greek Goddess highlighting palette from Holiday. I praise that formula to the heavens. I am hoping, I'm praying, I'm pleading with the makeup gods and the powers that be that this formula is the same as the formula in that palette, because if it is, whew. And then you have just the whole, they're okay. So they're like, okay, Moon Prism Power, not powder, is a Sailor Moon thing. We've got Moon Prism Power makeup, and so then he turned it into Moon Prism powders. I am so like down for this, and the packaging. I'm just all the 90s Sailor Moon girl aesthetic magicalness. Yes. So there will be a review on that. I don't know if it's up. If it is, we'll link it. If not, stay tuned. And something else. Kind of like the Moon Prism powders, like the Faced Clover highlighter. It's something that I absolutely do not need. But it's something that I absolutely want. Y'all may have remembered during holiday, Marc Jacobs, good old boy Marc, came out with a mega, like, big old pan of highlighter, body finish, something. It was a beautiful, peachy, delicious goldiness that I'm totally down for. I didn't buy it because I'm trying to be better, because I don't need another highlighter because it's huge. But he has decided to release another one. The Marc Jacobs Omega Runway Highlighter, which has been made into a color that would better suit my pasty complexion. And I see it and it's freaking $49, but it looks so pretty. Oh, part of me wants it so bad. I'm gonna keep my eye on it. And if it's there, if it's available during maybe the Sephora VIB sale, your girl might have to get it. Because I honestly really regret not getting that other one, the first one he did. And my life is too short to live with that kind of regret. And then last but not least, kind of another thing that like you initially see the picture and you're just like, ooh, yes, and you just get the chills from looking at it and you're like, that's gonna be something I need. The Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm face palette, which, don't get me wrong, looks all kinds of beautiful. It is glowy, golden, illuminating, just really stinking pretty. Everything I kind of want in a face palette. And actually kind of reminds me of the Becky and, y'all, I literally just called Becca Becky. Becca and Chloe and the other young lady they did those face palettes with. It kind of reminds me of that. Got the fancy embossing. I know it's going to be ridiculously expensive because Charlotte Tilbury is ridiculously expensive. And when I initially saw it, it just looked so pretty and beautiful. And I honestly feel like that's how companies get you when they finally decide to like not have the photo be black and white. Release these promo photos and they use these deep, beautiful, saturated images and you're just like your brain, the logical side of your brain shuts off and the side of your brain that's attracted to shiny things just overtakes you. I stepped back and I was like, girl, it's gonna be expensive. It's probably gonna be limited edition. And you don't need another face palette. Just be real with yourself, be more practical, be honest. And it's just honestly something that, you know, I would get and I'd like use it for a little bit and then it would sit in my drawers where all the other face palettes sit and aren't used. But that is it for this one. Those were all the things that I personally wanted to talk about. Obviously, I would love to hear y'all's opinions about, you know, things and these things that I talked about. Sorry if I seem a little bit weird. My words seem to be getting away with me a little bit today. But I would love to hear what you guys have to say about the products that I talked about, some things that you kind of have in your will you buy it, yes, no type thing. If you guys came from the first one, thank y'all so much for watching. Thank y'all for watching this video. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!